And welcome back. Well, Sophia Veit is 10 years old. She's one of millions living with the hassles and complications of type 1 diabetes. This summer, she was just one of 160 delegates who went to our nation's capital and met with our members of Congress. Sophia hopes her conversations with legislators will help her mission to fund research and eventually find a cure for juvenile diabetes.
We're super excited to have Sophia back on the Morning Blend today, joining us along with her mom, Amy, and her sister, Isabella, to tell us about her trip, her organization called Sophia's Promise, and her fight to help herself and others who carry this burden. Great to see all of you again.
Hi.
Thank you. You had a busy summer, didn't you?
Yeah.
So there were, I heard something like 1,500 other people who wanted to be delegates in Washington, D.C., but you were just one of 160 chosen to go and meet with our nation's leaders. Is that true?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Tell us about your trip. What did you do while you were there?
We went to a meet and greet, and we just got to socialize with other kids with type 1 diabetes, and we met with other famous people who had type 1 diabetes, and we went to a Senate hearing about type 1 diabetes and how they should pass the bill for Medicare for elderly people.
I bet your mom is super impressed with how you just summarized your trip. How's that, Amy?
That was perfect.
Pretty
yes.
good, right? And the famous people, one of the things I've read is that Nick Jonas has type 1 diabetes. I don't know if he was there. Jay Cutler, the quarterback for the Chicago Bears, a lot of people know, it was diagnosed at a fairly late age. I think he was in his late 20s when he was diagnosed. But did you see some famous people with type 1 diabetes?
Miss America.
I
Miss
saw Miss
America.
America.
Oh,
I got
yeah.
to try on her crown.
That's
And
cool.
I met a sports center host.
Okay.
Very cool. Well, we were talking about one of the former Miss America who had won with type 1 diabetes, and her story, a lot of people know when she won, she had an attached insulin pump, and when she competed after she won, it fell off, and it was, she tells the story oftentimes that it was between her legs as she was walking with her final walk doing this, you know. So the fact is that, you know, a lot of people believe in raising awareness for this and having pumps that are available to you, and that's one of the things that's important about what you guys are doing is you want people to be able to have insulin pumps and have them be covered. Why is it important to do that versus other options that don't include a constant monitor?
Well, what we're talking about is a continuous glucose monitor, and what that means is it can give us trend data to monitor her blood sugar. It does not necessarily replace all of the finger pricks, but it does give us an alarm if her blood sugar is going low. It gives us an alarm if her blood sugar is going high. So when Sophia met with our very awesome Wisconsin Congress men and women and senators, she was trying to get them to pass a law, along with the other 160 delegates, that senior citizens on Medicare, speaking of your last segment, should have access to a continuous glucose monitor. Apparently, when you get older, you can't feel the highs and lows. So tell about the one gentleman that testified in the Senate hearing.
He was driving and he felt low and he kind of drifted off sides, and you could get into a serious accident if that happened.
Absolutely.
So having access to, do you want to show your?
Yeah,
having
so
access,
this is and can you hold this up next to you? So this basically, and you just pressed a little button. So this is something that you put right onto your tummy there. Here's the monitor right here, and then here is the reading of it, right? So what does it say?
Does that site change?
Yeah, I switch it basically every week.
Okay.
And so having access to this for Medicare patients would not only keep the patient with type 1 diabetes, but the rest of us safe if somebody is on the road and is driving and does experience a low blood sugar. So it really is a necessity. So she was part of passing a law, which was really cool. And I had to sit in the background.
Yeah, how many kids can go to school? You're a 5th grader, right? How many kids go to school and are like, oh yeah, this summer I helped pass a law in Washington, D.C.
Not many.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Does this site monitor or does it administer insulin as well?
It does not. So this is just purely measuring her glucose trends. If she wanted an additional pump, that would have to be another stick-on. So you would have to have 2 equal parts measuring and giving insulin. The problem is they don't talk to each other just yet, but
Gotcha.
that's what JDRF is working on.
And there's
doing.
you and a friend
Yeah.
with your monitors on there. You met Congressman Paul Ryan, U.S. Senator Ron Johnson, U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin. Was one of them your favorite?
No.
No, you liked them all. Oh, she's quite good.
Bipartisan.
I liked all of them.
That's
okay,
right.
that's awesome. And we're going to put up the information for Sophia's Promise, because if people visit you at sophiaspromise.org, they can find out more about your organization. I know that your goal is to help find a cure for juvenile diabetes, and your mission is to not only raise money for research, but also provide families and kids who've been recently diagnosed with the disease the support, because it's a big life change. And I love what you do. Thank you for representing all of us on your trip to Washington, D.C. and sharing the details about it.
You're welcome.
And Isabella, you're a great support system.
Yeah, I think you're fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. It's great to see you guys. After the break, Sophia's work this summer ended in D.C., but her family wasn't done traveling. Washington was just one stop on their mission to visit all of the nation's capitals. Up next, Sophia's younger brother, Bo, and how he got to be a geography whiz kid.
That's right.